Dr. Jaime, and you are watching the Dr. Jaime channel. Today I want to talk to you about learning patterns. And as always, if you want a full 15-minute version, in-depth synopsis of any of the topics I talk about, you can just go to drjaimek.com and click on the link that says 15 Minutes of Fierce Workshops, and you'll find all the information there you need. But today I want to talk to you about learning patterns and what they mean. So there's this lady named Christine Johnson, and she came up with these 4 learning patterns, and that's sequence, precision, technical reasoning, and confluence. And each of them means something. And there's importance in knowing your learning pattern, because when you know what you do well with, what you avoid, where you need to sort of tether back a little bit and not engage so much, you can be more intentional in your work, in your school, in your relationships, in your personal life, and you can just thrive and do so much better when you know how to interact your learning patterns. So let's start with sequence. Sequence are people that like to be organized, they like to have lists, they like to do things from A to Z. People that are high in precision like lots of information. You give them one little task, and then they want to know everything about it, so they ask lots of questions and do lots of research. They can somewhat be a perfectionist. The problem with them is sometimes that they can get off on a tangent. So you've got the people that are high in sequence that like all these lists and they're crossing everything out, which can cause lots of anxiety. But then you have the precision people that are just sort of going too into depth on information. Now you have technical reasoning. And these are the people that like to work alone. They've got it all by themselves. They're very hands-on. The problem with someone high in technical reasoning is that sometimes they really have a challenge in working in a team. And then you have someone who is a confluent learner. And these are the risk takers. They're very creative people. They think outside the box, which can really come in handy a lot in a magnitude of situations. But the problem with them is sometimes they're too risky, or they don't follow through. They come up with all these great ideas, but they don't actually act on them or follow through completely on them. So what I encourage you to do is go to Google and type in a quick search on learning connections inventory, or how to take the LCI, and try to take that learning inventory so that you can see where you rank. For example, if you have a 25 or higher of a score, you're use first in that pattern. That means you like to use it a lot. If you are a 17 or below, that's an avoid, and maybe you stay away from using that learning pattern, but maybe in some situations you really should use that learning pattern. So to be more intentional, you want to fit these learning patterns, and that is forge, intensify, and tether. So in some situations, you may just want to forge, just maintain that precision, maintain that technical reasoning. Now in other situations, when you become aware of your learning pattern, you may want to tether back. So in a relationship, if you're that planner, right, everything must be planned, it must be detailed, they must know how. If you're married or with someone that's confluent and very plan B, go with the flow, it's okay, let's just do it when we do it, spontaneous, you might clash. And so in order for your relationship to work better, you may need to tether your sequence. And then in some cases, you may need to intensify, and that's the I in fit, forge, intensify, and tether back. And in certain situations, you may need to say, hey, I do need to plan a little more, or maybe I should have asked more questions in that situation. You can make the world work for you and be so much better if you know your learning patterns and know when to forge, intensify, and tether them. If you want more information on this very topic, as I said before, go to drjaimek.com, click on the link that says 15 Minutes of Fierce, and you can find out everything you need to know on learning patterns. Hope you enjoyed these tips.